Hi, this is Chris Marchand of Between the Songs podcast. I'm here with Joe Cook to tell you about another podcast we've created, and we hope, if you've enjoyed Between the Songs, that you'll enjoy this one too.
It's called Nostalgic Future Podcast, and that's what it's all about. Chris and I dive deep into our nostalgia, all the pop culture stuff that we grew up with, and we examine how it's influenced our lives and how that continues today and into the future.
So join us for fun discussions about some of our favorite movies, television shows, music, books. Really, nothing is off limits. We even have special guests on from time to time to talk about some of their nostalgic obsessions.
Check out Nostalgic Future Podcast, available now on all the big podcasting apps, and you can also follow us on social media. It's Nostalgic Future Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and we're at Past Future Pod on Twitter.
Nostalgic Future Podcast, where the past is the only way forward.
Hi, this is Joe Cook of Ragamuffin Archive. I know many of you remember Rich Mullins' longtime writing and touring partner, David Strasser, aka Beaker. And it's likely that even more of you are familiar with the song Let Mercy Lead, the song that Rich and David wrote together for David's firstborn son, Aiden. Well, it was recently brought to our attention that David's daughter Isabel, Aiden's sister, is in need of a liver transplant. This comes after years of battling chronic liver disease as well as other health issues. Her brother Aiden went through all of the evaluations to see if he could become a living donor, and it turns out that he is indeed a match. So Aiden has selflessly decided to give part of his liver to his sister Isabel. While that news is wonderful, there's still a great financial need, as there are a number of extra costs on top of what the insurance will cover. The Strasser family is looking to raise at least $25,000 to help cover these extra costs. So we're humbly asking for your help. I know that the music David Strasser helped create with Rich Mullins still means a great deal to so many of us here. Well, now is our chance to show our appreciation by helping their family during this incredibly stressful time, by taking care of these extra costs of Isabel's liver transplant. Please check out the family's GoFundMe page. We've included a link in the description of this video. And consider donating whatever amount you can. Every little bit helps. And please share their GoFundMe page on social media. Thank you. Welcome to Ragamuffin Archive, Revisited. I'm Joe Cook. Since 2010, Ragamuffin Archive has been on a mission to preserve and share rare and unreleased recordings from Rich Mullins, a Ragamuffin band, and the artists who worked with them or were inspired by them. Now, each week, we'll be taking a deep dive into our archives to share some of the best moments and music that you may have missed. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's Ragamuffin Archive Revisited.
This roof has got a few missing shingles, but at least we got ourselves a roof. And it seems like I messed up the lyrics. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. There's no need in starting over, 'cause we're just gonna play this through. I will be my brother's keeper, not the one who judges him. Won't despise him for his weakness, won't regard him for his strength. I won't take away his freedom, I will help him learn to stand. And I will be my brother's keeper. First verse. Now the plumber's got a drip in his spigot, mechanic's got a clink in his car, and The preacher's thinking thoughts that are wicked. The lover's got a lonely heart. My friends ain't the way I wish they were. Not just the way they are. I will be my brother's keeper, not the one who judges him. Won't despise him for his weakness, won't regard him for his strength. I won't take away his freedom, I will help him learn to stand. And I will be my brother's keeper. And I will be my brother's keeper, not the one who judges him. Won't despise him for his weakness, won't regard him for his strength. I won't take away his freedom, I will help him learn to stand. And I will be my brother's keeper.
This is a song off my new album called, this album is called Winds of Heaven, Stuff of Earth. I'm sure you know that and that you've all bought many copies. This song is a song called Such a Thing as Glory. Oh, Gary! 2, 3, 4. Such a thing as glory, such a thing as glory, such a thing as glory, such a thing as glory. There is such a thing as glory. There are hints of it everywhere, and the hints are overwhelming, and this sense is in the air. It's more powerful than morning, or the morning can't compare. Such a thing as glory, such a thing as glory. There was a man named Jesus. He was God and he was flesh, and he came down here to lead us out from this burning wilderness. He took upon his shoulders our sin, our shame, our death. There is such a thing as glory, such a thing as glory. There is such a thing. There is such a thing. There is such a thing. Now Jesus lives in glory. Jesus reigns as heaven's king, and the love of God is pouring out on the earth, the sky, and sea. We've come beneath his mercies, we'll be compelled to sing. There is such a thing as glory, such a thing as glory, such a thing as glory, such a thing as glory. Thank you.
Well, that was 2 live performances from Rich Mullins right there, both recorded in South Bend, Indiana. That one was from the WHME birthday party event that was held on September 17th, 1988, Such a Thing as Glory. Before that one, kicking off the show, Rich and the Ragamuffins performing Brother's Keeper on Live from Studio B with that kind of nice little impromptu lyric change at the beginning. All right, well, I'm Joe Cook. Welcome to another edition of Ragamuffin Archive Revisited. And, we got a pretty cool show for you tonight. This month marks the 30th anniversary of the day that Rich Mullins joined the band Hocus Pick in the recording studio to record their song, I Believe. And in honor of that occasion, we thought we would invite Russ Smith from the band onto the show to share some of his memories of how that collaboration came about and also about his friendship with Rich Mullins. So we'll be hearing from Russ Smith in just a little bit, but first, here's a song from the Ascendants from their brand new debut album, The Fellowship of the Broken. And this is another track from that record that was written by all 5 members of the band: Ben Pearson, Phil Madeira, Steve Hindalong, Jimmy Abegg, and of course, the guy who sings lead on the song, Matt Slocum. This one's called Lonely Planet.
At the start, felt so right. The world was more wondrous as two. There's no light in your eyes. There was us, now it's just me and you. It's a lonely planet we're living on, so far away from the sun. Oh my love, the time has come. I've got to get back to one. We're so lost, it's so dark. Can't find the wood for the trees. Wounded hearts, grown apart. Tell me who's got the courage to leave. It's a lonely planet we're living on, so far away from the sun. Oh my love, the time has come. I've got to get back to one. Got to get back. It's the loneliest number, but 2 can be as bad as 1. Can I fall from your orbit? Can the moon really leave the sun? Planet we're living on, so far away from the sun. Oh my love, the time has come. I've got to get back. It's a lonely planet we're living on, so far away from the sun. Oh my love, the time has come. I've got to get back to one. Got to get back to one. Got to get back to one.
This is a song that I wrote for the album, but we forgot to record it. You know, I was just concerned one time because I noticed, and I don't listen to a lot of music, but one time I listened to a whole afternoon's worth of Christian music, and it struck me as odd that there are no good Christian breakup songs. And I thought, you know, I know a lot of people who are Christian and have broken up, so I took it upon myself to write a song that I might know something about. And so that's this song. It goes, it took the hand of God Almighty to part the waters of the sea, but it only took one little light to separate you and me. Oh, we are not as strong as we think we are. And they say that one day Joshua made the sun stand still in the sky, but I can't even keep these thoughts of you passing by. Oh, we are not as strong as we think we are. We are frail, we are fearfully and wonderfully Forged in the fires of human passion, and choking on the fumes of selfish rage. And with these our hells and our heavens so few inches apart, we must be awful small, not as strong as we think we are. And the master said the fate was gonna make them mountains move. And me, I tremble like a hill on fall, just at the thought of how I lost you. Oh, we are not strong as we think we are. We are frail, we are fearfully and wonderfully made, forged in the fires of human passion, choking on the fumes of selfish rage. And with these our hells and our heavens so few inches apart, we must be awfully small, not as strong as we think we are. We took the hand of God Almighty to part the waters of the sea, but it only took one little light to separate you and me. Oh, we are not strong as we think we are. Oh, we are not as strong as we think we are.
Rich Mullins from a concert taped at the Stranahan Theater in Toledo, Ohio, during the Brothers Keeper Tour on November 19th, 1995, about 8 months before that song was actually released on his Greatest Hits collection songs. That was We Are Not As Strong As We Think We Are. And you know, one of my favorite things that happens on Ragamuffin Archive is when people leave comments letting me know that they were actually at one of the shows that we upload. And so a while back, I received a comment on that Toledo concert, and this one comes from a YouTube user called Dizzy Mac, who wrote, "Had the fortune of attending this very concert. Rich was on fire that night, jamming away barefoot as he did many times in concert. If we only knew we didn't have that much more time to experience his passion. Thanks for the upload." All right, well, I mentioned a few minutes ago that this is the 30th anniversary of Rich recording the song I Believe with the band Hocus Pick, and we're going to play that song later in the show, and we're also going to play a couple of their other songs. But right now, Russ Smith, the lead singer and guitarist of Hocus Pick, is going to share with us how the band first met Rich Mullins. So, take it, Russ.
Hi, this is Russ from the band Hocus Pick. And we met Rich Mullins probably in 1991. Hocus Pick, or Hocus Pick Maneuver at the time, because the name was too long, we were signed to Word Canada. And we were actually big fans of Rich Mullins and his music and listening to it, especially that album, The World as Best as I Can Remember It, Volume 1. And it turned out that Rich Mullins was coming to Vancouver, and Word Canada was going to host some kind of fancy dinner thing for Rich. And we begged our A&R lady, can we please go? We want to meet Rich Mullins. So our A&R lady told us, you can come, but you have to dress up. So we weren't quite used to that. We went and found some nice shirts and ties and jackets and put them on. And then we went to this thing, this Rich Mullins banquet thing. And then Rich Mullins shows up. He's wearing what Rich would normally wear. He's wearing like jeans, beat up jeans, a t-shirt, no shoes, no socks. And he comes over and starts talking to us, and we were super stoked to meet him. And Rich says, yeah, so you guys playing tonight? And we said, no, they won't let us. And he said, you know why you're not playing tonight? And we said, oh, no, why? And he said, because you're wearing suits. And we thought, okay. And then we thought, hey, we got to ask him for some advice. So we said, Rich, we're a young band, and you've been in the Christian music industry for a while, so what advice do you have for us? And Rich said, I'll tell you 3 things. Number 1, don't get married. Number 2, don't get into debt. And number 3, get out of this industry as fast as you can. And we were kind of, oh, yeah, thanks, Rich. Because we were all all wanting to get married, and we were already in debt, and we were just starting out in the industry. So that was how we met Rich Mullins.
Sunny day, find out what the papers say. Message from the president, no more tax for residents. Go USA. I'm so happy, feeling snappy. My life is rosy. I'm feeling comfy, cozy. Free. Limo right, free food inside, getting paid triple time, gotta go to Anaheim, grab my briefcase at my house, got a meeting with the mouse, flying first class. I'm so happy, feeling snappy. My life is rosy. I'm feeling comfy, cozy. Keeps getting better. Good times forever. And this is one great day. Been playing guitar in a band, just got back from Disneyland, driving around in 4x4, and McVicker at my door. Stops I bought, just went out, Canucks won the Stanley Cup. Bill Gates put me in his will, someone pay my visa bill. I'm so happy, feeling snappy. My life is rosy. I'm feeling comfy, cozy. I'm so happy, feeling snappy. Will there be sorrow when I wake up tomorrow?
This is a song that I wrote out of extreme poverty, which is something that I've lived in and gotten to know and love in the last few years. It's called What Does It Profit a Man? And what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? What are his friends to him when if he never knows God? He can never be whole. I went to my cupboard, but my cupboard was bare. Somehow I forgot that God was really still there. Till I went to the grocery, I saw the loneliness in the eyes of poor and rich people. And that's when the Lord made me finally realize, what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? What are his friends to him when if he never knows God? He can never be whole. He showed me the wildflowers that neither spin nor sow. He said, look at Solomon and tell me, how does his glory go? He showed me the sparrows and I saw them full and free. The Lord said, oh, you're the labor and a heavy burden, won't you come unto me? What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? What are his friends to him when if he never knows God? he can never be whole. Seek ye first the kingdom, and all you see is yours. Seek ye first the glory, oh, the glory of the Lord. What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? What are his friends to him when if he never knows God? He can never, never be whole. What does it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? What are his friends to him when if he never knows God? He can never be whole.
That was a great unreleased Rich Mullins song from the Rich Mullins Early Music YouTube channel, performed live during a sacred music concert at Erlanger United Methodist Church in Northern Kentucky back in 1977. That was a song called Prophet. Before that was probably Hocus Pick's most iconic song from their 1997 album Snappy. That was I'm So Happy. And we're going to play another song from Hocus Pick in just a couple minutes. But first, we're going to go back to Russ Smith, who's going to share another memory from one of the band's encounters with Rich Mullins.
Another Rich Mullins Hocus Pick story is that in 1994, Hocus Pick was on tour with Steve Taylor in the States, and we had a concert date in Wichita, Kansas, which is where Rich Mullins was living, somewhere around there at the time. So again, we reached out to Rich, probably through his management, just to let him know, hey, we were in town, we'd love to see him. And the day of the show, we were hanging out backstage. The Hocus Pick is backstage. Guardian, who is the opening act, they're hanging out backstage. Steve Taylor and his band, they're hanging out backstage. And someone came to the door and said, hey, Rich Mullins is here. And so Rich appears in the doorway, and Steve Taylor goes over, is like, probably thinking, it's nice that Rich is here to visit with Steve Taylor. And Rich is like, hey, hi, good to see ya. We're the Hocus guys. Which made us feel awesome, because we're like, wow, we're like bottom of the heap here as far as being the opening band. It's Steve Taylor is here and all this, but Rich Mullins, he came to see us for whatever reason. So just another great encounter that we got to have with Rich Mullins.
I stop for a moment to think, and the hours go by. Too many questions of why, where, and how. I seem to get two answers. I cannot tell just what to do. There seems to be not a clue, but if there is truth, show it to me. Not two answers, la 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 la. To make a decision, some say just to follow your heart. It seems to tear me apart, still so unsure, caught in between the two answers, my life's mistake and biggest regret. Oh, my greatest decision as yet, will you stand by me as I choose one? Are these two answers, la 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 My life is in you, I must keep believing. The decision I make
is where you are leading. Where you are leading. Singing la 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 la
When the flowers bloom early, then wither and die young. They are licked by the devil's split tongue. Oh, the sins of our fathers have beaten us numb on these tree-lined white picket lawns, on these golden streets of Rome. It's a portrait of beauty, perfection, and grace. Man has made God's heaven his own, and to keep it preserved in its intended state, they make sacrifices each dawn on these scarlet streets of Rome. The river runs far from the path they would take you, far from these hands that would break you. Oh, river run. Underneath each finely manicured yard lies a stripped down bag of bones, and the gold they extract they will only give back to them goons in charge of all them gold-lined streets of Rome. The river runs far from the path they would lead you, far from these gangsters who breed you. Oh, river run. They had sold you, forsaken your childish dreams, but your heart was a vagabond. So you touched both them boot heels onto their pavement and made your break at dawn from these gold damn streets of Rome. Hey!
That was Rick Elias from his album Blink and a great song called Streets of Rome. Before that, Hocus Pick from back when they were still called Hocus Pick Maneuver from a 1992 album called Pick It Up. Beautiful song called Two Answers. Well, I've mentioned a couple of times already that 30 years ago this month, Rich Mullins joined Hocus Pick in the studio to record their song I Believe. And so I wanted to ask Russ a little bit about that particular song and about how that collaboration with Rich Mullins came about. So once again, to tell us all about it, here's Russ Smith.
Yes, the song I Believe was recorded about 30 years ago this month. That was 1993. The song was on an album called Brothers from Different Mothers by Hocus Pick, and the lead up to it is that Hocus Pick was on the road touring around in the USA with a group called Rhythm and News, and we had a stop in Abilene, Texas. And we were kind of joking around backstage, and we were thinking like, hey, this is where Rich Mullins lives now, right? Somewhere in Kansas. And we're joking around about Abilene, and we made up the song, oh, Abilene, Abilene. And we thought, oh, okay, it's actually kind of a catchy melody. So we kept it in mind. We were doing a bunch of songwriting for our upcoming studio session, and we ended up writing the song I Believe. And when we were in the studio, we thought, man, it'd be great to get Rich Mullins to sing on the song. Because again, we were big fans of his, and he had a big influence on our songwriting. And so we tried reaching out to him. Again, I don't think we had his phone number. I think we tried to contact him through his management. But they got back to us and said, yeah, Rich was actually going to be coming through Nashville, and he was willing to stop by the studio and do some recording. So he came to the studio. He arrived in this old beat-up pickup truck. And he got out. He's like, hey, guys, so show me the song. And we showed him the song, and he caught on right away and recorded a few takes, nailed it. It was so cool getting to hear Rich singing one of our songs. And at the end of that, Rich said, hey, you guys want me to play on it? Because he's like, I brought my hammered dulcimer and my lap dulcimer. So, yeah, and he got those instruments out, played them beautifully, and it was all done. And then he's like, okay, guys, I gotta go. And he got up in his beat-up pickup truck and he left. And we're like, wow, we were just visiting the studio at Rich Mullins. It was amazing. Great memory, and we're so honored that Rich would be willing to sing and play on one of our songs.
What other reason would I need to give? Oh, 'cause I found the reason why I want to live. It's for him who gave his own life that I might find peace. So I sing for joy as I sing with this song, because freedom was foreign when I lived in the wrong. But it's here now, and I sing for the joy that it brings. Oh, 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 singing, oh, I believe, I believe, I believe. Oh, I believe, I believe, I believe in God's only Son. Now I am not haunted by the sins of my past, for the chains have been broken and I'm free at last, just to live in the grace of my God and liberty free. So look into the story, and then you will see why the cross that I'm wearing means something to me. It's love, the love of the Father is given to us. Oh, won't you sing, sing out? I believe, I believe, I believe, I believe. Oh, I believe, I believe, I believe in God's only Son. Singing, oh, I believe, I believe, I believe. Oh, I believe, I believe, oh, I believe. Singing, oh, I believe, I believe, I believe. Oh, I believe, I believe, I believe in God's only Son.
About a year after Rich Mullins recorded that song I Believe with Hocus Pick in the studio, Rich was going to be playing a concert in Vancouver, BC, which is where Hocus Pick is from. And we actually were lined up to open for him. So again, we tried reaching out to Rich, probably through his management, and said, hey, you know, we're going to be opening for this show in Vancouver. Is there any way that Rich would want to sing that song, I Believe, with us that we recorded? And Rich got back to us. He's like, yeah, totally. You know, come meet me early for the show and we'll do that. And it was funny because he had just cut his hair. So, you know, if you look on the World as Best as I Remember It albums, he's got long hair. He had just cut his hair and we showed up to the gig. There he was with his short hair. And he said, I don't remember your guys' song at all. So, hey, we went out into the parking lot and we listened to the song a couple times in the truck. And then he's like, okay, I think I got it. And we went back to the church venue to get in. And lo and behold, security would not let us in because they're like, you guys, you got to go around to the front. That's where all the paying ticket customers go. And we're like, that's Rich Mullins. And Rich, tell him who you are. He's like, I don't want to tell him who I am. So Rich is like, fine, whatever. I don't care. So he just went around to the front and everyone at the front's like, oh, that's Rich Mullins. And we got into the show and we played the gig and it was a lot of fun. And it was just another moment for us having Rich along the ride with us and for us. And he was a good friend.
From the Wheaton College television program The Exchange from April of 1997, that was Rich Mullins and Mitch McVicker performing Bach's F major Invention. And you know, we're going to play another song from Mitch in just a moment, But first, I just want to thank Russ Smith for sharing some great memories there about recording and performing the song I Believe with Rich Mullins. And we're going to hear from Russ again at the end of the show. He's got one more great Rich Mullins memory that he's going to share with us, so stay tuned. But right now, I'm going to play a live performance from Mitch McVicker, and this one goes back even further than that Bach performance that we just played. This is from Mitch's first ever solo concert. And, of course, Mitch played with Rich a lot in 1996 and 1997. Often he opened for him at their concerts. But this is from the first full solo concert that he played by himself, and it happened at Community Bible Church in Bonito, New Mexico on November 8th, 1996, which incidentally was Mitch's 24th birthday. And on a personal note, during my time living out on the Navajo reservation, I was actually on staff at that church. In fact, my wife and I worked with CBC during our final year on the res back in 2018. And while we were out there, our dear friend Chuck Harper found the cassette tape that he had made of this concert. And so right now we're going to play a song from that tape. And this is one that Mitch recorded less than a year later for his self-titled debut album. But this is a nice acoustic performance of a song called She Asked Me How.
How many of you have ever had this feeling where things weren't quite the way you wanted them to be and you wanted to change them, but you didn't know how to do that? About every 15 minutes that happens to me. And it's kind of frustrating. But this next song is about something that does change lives and someone who can change things. There's a drifting song, I think we all sometimes hear it, when our minds are true and free enough. And there is a spot inside of countless souls that longs and yearns to be filled by that melodic kind of stuff. And blessed are the poor in spirit, thank God, 'cause she's barely got a dime. She asked me how I'd change this world, and I couldn't think of nothing to say. It's a great big old place, and so much is changing. It's all I can do to look out for what's coming my way. So it makes me think my heart's made of steel, but at least I know it's covered with condensation. 'Cause there is a warm spirit of love that settles down upon my heart. And it's cold, dark, lonely places. And blessed are those who are hungry 'cause her hunger never ends. And she asked me how I'd change this world, and I finally figured out the only way to change this world for the good or for the better is to love with a love that's forever the same. She asked me how I would change this world, and I finally figured out the only way to change this world for the good or for the better is to love with a love that's forever the same. It's forever the same. Used to wake up angry, knowing the sun would shine, but the light would get lost in the cloud. I used to be so lonely, wishing that love was mine, but never knowing where it was found. And then there was you, Lord. Though you had always been, I'd never opened up to you. Then I was through, Lord, through with the empty games. Now I know I want to live my life out loving you. I never heard the music till the day I met you, Lord. Never heard the music till the day I met you, Lord. Now I bless you for the songs that each day brings, for how they taught me how to sing anew. I used to feel so empty. I'd listen to the radio, but never hear a thing within my heart. The days went on unending, with nowhere new to go. Just hang around and play out the same old part. Dreams don't come true, Lord, though I wish them on the stars. I've never given up to you. What can I do, Lord? I wait for the songs to start, but now I know the music that comes from loving you. I never heard the music till the day I met you, Lord. I never heard the music till the day I met you, Lord. Now I bless you for the songs that this day brings, and for how they taught me how to sing anew. I never heard the music till the day I met you, Lord. I never heard the music till the day I met you, Lord. Now I bless you for the songs that each day brings, and for how they taught me how to sing. They taught me how to sing anew.
Well, that was a demo recorded by Rich Mullins back in 1982, and that recording has been officially released twice. First in 2003 on the Here in America project, and again in 2014 on the soundtrack to the movie Ragamuffin. That was a song called Never Heard the Music. Well, that's about going to wrap things up for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I want to encourage you to join us next week because, with the 4th of July coming up, we're working on a special show highlighting some of the songs that Rich Mullins wrote that were kind of distinctly American, songs that speak to the beauty that he saw in America, and even some of the songs that dealt with his experience as a Christian in this country. And so I've invited my friend Chris Marchand. He's going to be joining us to discuss some of those songs, and you're not going to want to miss it. All right, well, our special thanks to Russ Smith. I want to thank Russ for all the great memories and stories that he shared with us on the show tonight. And to close out the show, I wanted to ask Russ about a video that we released on Ragamuffin Archive several years ago. In fact, Hocus Pick's drummer, Rick Calhoun, shared this video with us, and it is from when Rich Mullins joined the band on stage at the Creation Festival back in 1996. So here's Russ one more time to tell us all about that performance.
Yeah, in 1996, Hocus Pick played at the Creation Festival. That was in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I think that's the only time they actually had that festival at that location, this nice outdoor stadium. And as part of what we've been doing with Hocus Pick at the time was doing this little medley, taking Pearl Jam's Better Man into one of our songs, and then ending the set with Step by Step by Rich Mullins. So when we were at the festival, we realized, hey, I think that Rich is here. And we had bumped into Rich through the years and had a bit of a friendship going with him. And so we're playing our set at the main stage, and we look over, and there's Rich Mullins. He's hanging outside the stage, just kind of watching us and bobbing his head and all that. And we're like, cool, Rich is watching us play. Okay. Oh, and then we remembered, all right, we're ending with one of his songs. That kind of makes us nervous. And we got to that part in the set, started singing the song, and we just kind of looked at him and motioned with our heads like, come on over. And we didn't know if he would, but Rich Mullins walked on stage and started singing the song because it's his song. But it was so cool just to have that kind of impromptu moment, Rich coming on stage with us and kind of like us getting to be his band for a moment and singing the song. And of course the crowd knew the song as well. It's a great worship tune. So singing Step by Step with Rich Mullins, Creation Festival 1996.
Well, we have 3 little songs just to finish off this set with. One you may know, one you probably don't know, and one you will really know. So we'll just sing them for you.
She lies and says she's in love with him. Can't find a better man. She dreams in color, she dreams in red. She can't find a better man. She drives and says she's in love with him. Can't find a better man. She dreams in color, she dreams in red. Can't find a better man. She can't find a better man. She can't find a better man. I've been a places, seen many things, felt the sorrow and the happiness that this life brings. And I always tried to do the best I could. I looked fine in my imagination, but I needed something more for inspiration. If there was something there worth following, I would. And now I long to be a better man. Oh yes, I want to do all I can. Oh yes, I
want to be a better man. Oh yes, I want to do all I can. I want to do all I can. I want to do all I can to be more like you. Let's hear you sing. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. And I will seek you in the morning, and I will learn to walk in your ways, and step by step you lead me, and I will follow you all of my days. Mr. Rich Mullins, everybody. Now that he's got us all going, let's see you sing that again. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. Oh God, you are my God, and I will ever praise you. I will seek you in the morning, and I will learn to walk in your ways, and step by step you lead me, and I will follow you all of my days. Keep singing. Oh God, you are.
You've been listening to Ragamuffin Archive Revisited. Thanks so much for tuning in. Be sure to follow us on social media. It's Ragamuffin Archive on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And you can also reach me by email at ragamuffinarchive@gmail.com. And of course, you can always leave a comment on YouTube. The song you're hearing is Screen Porch by Ted Yoder. You can find more of his music at tedyoder.com or on Bandcamp. Join us next time for another deep dive into the archive. I'm Joe Cook. Have a great week. Hi, this is Joe Cook of Ragamuffin Archive. I know many of you remember Rich Mullins' longtime writing and touring partner, David Strasser, aka Beaker. And it's likely that even more of you are familiar with the song Let Mercy Lead, the song that Rich and David wrote together for David's firstborn son, Aiden. Well, it was recently brought to our attention that David's daughter Isabel, Aiden's sister, is in need of a liver transplant. This comes after years of battling chronic liver disease as well as other health issues. Her brother Aiden went through all of the evaluations to see if he could become a living donor, and it turns out that he is indeed a match. So Aiden has selflessly decided to give part of his liver to his sister Isabel. While that news is wonderful, there's still a great financial need, as there are a number of extra costs on top of what the insurance will cover. The Strasser family is looking to raise at least $25,000 to help cover these extra costs. So we're humbly asking for your help. I know that the music David Strasser helped create with Rich Mullins still means a great deal to so many of us here. Well, now is our chance to show our appreciation by helping their family during this incredibly stressful time, by taking care of these extra costs of Isabel's liver transplant. Please check out the family's GoFundMe page. We've included a link in the description of this video. And consider donating whatever amount you can. Every little bit helps. And please share their GoFundMe page on social media. Thank you.
Hi, this is Chris Marchand of Between the Songs podcast. I'm here with Joe Cook to tell you about another podcast we've created, and we hope, if you've enjoyed Between the Songs, that you'll enjoy this one too.
It's called Nostalgic Future Podcast, and that's what it's all about. Chris and I dive deep into our nostalgia, all the pop culture stuff that we grew up with, and we examine how it's influenced our lives and how that continues today and into the future.
So join us for fun discussions about some of our favorite movies, television shows, music, books. Really, nothing is off limits. We even have special guests on from time to time to talk about some of their nostalgic obsessions.
Check out Nostalgic Future Podcast, available now on all the big podcasting apps, and you can also follow us on social media. It's Nostalgic Future Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and we're at Past Future Pod on Twitter.
Nostalgic Future Podcast, where the past is the only way forward.